As Raymond approached, Archer began to speak in his familiar force-field staccato. Both families were taken to Bellevue. One is from Nassau, one is from Westchester. Both cops were on the job for about 2 years, same academy class. The DOA was married just 4 months ago, the other not married. The suspect, Hispanic or light-skinned black male, ran from the scene and we believe got on a northbound A train at 43rd and Broadway. He hasn't been seen since. Outside, in front of Raymond's apartment building, the commissioner's black Suburban sat gleaming in the streetlights, the SUV's colored emergency lights rotating, the vehicle looking like a four-wheel Chevy spaceship from Mars. 2 marked NYPD highway unit cars were also there, one in front, one behind the commissioner's SUV. Raymond slid into the back seat of the Suburban and nodded to his personal driver, Taylor Shelby, Eagle 2. Shelby was a longtime member of the Fashion Force, having worked with Raymond since years before, when both were in narcotics. He had earned his place on Raymond's elite team, which meant he was on call 24/7. As soon as Archer got in the front seat, all 3 vehicles took off, sirens screaming and lights spinning, lighting up the Bronx like some dipsy midnight street fair. The 3-car motorcade drove to the Henry Hudson Parkway southbound, en route to Manhattan's Bellevue Hospital. As they sped downtown, additional highway units fell in behind. The phone in the SUV rang. Archer answered. It was Eagle 3, Mike Tanaka, Tokyo Mike for short, Raymond's advance man. It was Tanaka's job to already be wherever the commissioner was headed, and to know everything there Raymond needed to know. He was calling from the hospital to inform Archer that New York City's mayor, Joseph Brown, was 15 minutes away from arrival. Archer relayed the information over his shoulder to the commissioner. Raymond leaned forward and told Shelby to step on it. He wanted to be there before Brown. The phone rang again. Archer picked up, listened, and then asked into the phone, "Do they have the shooter?" "Negative," a duty captain from headquarters operations said. "Apparently he disappeared into the subway. We have a few witnesses telling us that he may have jumped on a northbound A train, but that's all we have." Archer repeated the information to Raymond. Fuck, the commissioner thought to himself. There are so many live cameras in Times Square, with lenses so tight and sharp they can read the time off a perp's watch. They'll figure it out as soon as they examine the footage and the cameras. Archer repeated the question to the captain. "Do they have the shooter?" Listened, and then said back to Raymond, "Suspect ran into the subway entrance on 43rd and Broadway." Raymond blew an angry breath of air through his puffed cheeks as he shook his head back and forth. He looked at his watch. 2:30. It was going to be an even longer night now. The Cade turned left onto 34th Street, joined by 2 more police vehicles, and they all sped east like an iron and steel parade across the island to Bellevue's emergency room entrance at the east end of 34th, just before it bleeds into the East River Drive. When they arrived, dozens of cops had already gathered in front of and around the hospital's emergency room section. Everybody and his fucking brother, Raymond thought to himself. And, of course, a shitload circus of pool reporters that the highway cops had corralled behind hastily erected barricades about 25 feet from the emergency room door. As he exited the Suburban, they thrust their microphones and cameras in his direction. He brushed past them, escorted by a number of uniformed officers, and said nothing as he pushed through the double doors and entered the emergency room area, where an entire section had been cordoned off, entry allowed only for medical personnel, police, and immediate family. He could feel his fingers of both hands tighten into balls as he approached the first set of curtains and heard a woman wailing at the top of her lungs. As the cops pulled back the curtain, he saw the dead cop's bereft parents and new bride standing in a small circle as they were being consoled by a Catholic priest and an NYPD chaplain. The mother was bent over, weeping into a handkerchief, her husband's left arm around her, holding her up. The bride's intermittent screams echoed down the hall, as if she were being continually stabbed. Raymond went over to them and hugged the mother. It was his rule to always go to the mother first. He whispered in her ear and assured her the entire force was there for her, and gave her his solemn word that her son's killer would be caught. He then moved to the bride, who was now rocking back and forth.